Youri Moulder, he says, I can see development in this team is made as well as establishment of a way of doing things. The boys are full of motivation, and we all want to keep improving day by day. The development doesn't happen overnight. However, it's a longer process, but I believe we are on the right track. And I think it's I can't disagree with this because we have seen it's been slow under Van Wonderen, but we have seen development. It seems like there is a methodology to his madness, both defensively and offensively. And it's taken a while, but we are starting to get better defensively, I think, Jack.
Yeah. I'm not. I don't know if I'm there yet. I mean, just because, a couple against Hamburg, 3 against Kaiserslautern, a couple against Paderborn.
Yeah.
Could have had more than one against Dusseldorf. So that's still the area that I think needs to improve a little bit. But, I agree. There haven't been as many of the sort of the shocking defensive mistakes for the most part. The goals last week were, getting beat over the top a couple times and behind, stuff like that. But it's not the sort of the calamitous, whatever, like a goalkeeper not, coming out and making contact on a set piece or something. So, yeah, we'll see. I just still think we need to talk about, the center back situation there and some other things.
Segue. Let's talk about center backs, Jack. Lately,
it's like I knew the show rundown.
Lately, Kaminski's beginning to start over Kalash. Schallenberg, I think, if of the 3, Schallenberg is definitely going to be in there. The question is Kaminski or Kalash. And lately, it seems to be Kaminski. And I am strangely comfortable with this decision, Jack. It seems like, I don't know if it's Kalash has fallen out of favor or the game plan that he's trying to implement suits Kaminski better. I mean, thoughts on this? And then obviously we obviously need someone in the winter transfer market, but thoughts on how this center back situation is shaping up at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, you know how I feel about it. I've mentioned it a couple times on the pod tonight already. I mean, I think we need to try to go out and maybe make another signing, get some depth, because some of these other players that we brought in we just haven't seen them. You know what I mean?
I know.
There's guys that are in and around the squad in theory that were going to be, in the summer when we brought people in, and they're just not part of it. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's surprising that Kalash is the odd man out, especially when you have a guy like Schallenberg, who's not even necessarily a center back as his natural position that's beating him. That's not what we were looking for out of Kalash when we signed him. But I think particularly with Van Wonderen, I mean, I think Kaminski just makes more sense stylistically for what Van Wonderen was trying to do. He's also less exposed because I know it's still technically a back 4 that they're playing, but it rarely feels like that. You know what I mean? In terms of the pressure that's being applied to him and those sorts of things. So, I thought the last couple of weeks he's been, I mean, once again, he got beaten over the top last week, so he had some mistakes defensively. I'm not saying those don't exist, and I'm not saying that's not a concern. But I think he hasn't been in as much of a position to get exposed horribly as he has sometimes. And once again, he adds things in possession. You see it every game.
That's the big difference, I think. Yeah, and someone brought it up on Twitter or something like that. But they said if we're going to back 3, why isn't Kalash be in the middle with Kaminski and Schallenberg on either side? Then you have Bullet and Merkin still as the wing backs, and I guess that could work, but you almost have to take someone out of the midfield at that point, and who do you do that? And Bachmann, Seguin, and Schallenberg almost have to on the pitch to this point, just because 2 of the 3 are really good passes, and then Bachmann's is a workhorse, and he's good in the air, and he apparently can score goals every now and then or assist him.
Bachmann's a good passer too, honestly.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're right. No, you're right.
No, I mean, actually, there's a funny moment. This is just this is completely anecdotal. It's one moment in the match, but there was a moment when I actually was noticing how frustrated he was, where he couldn't get a pass. He was running around with his hands out, and sometimes to be fair, sometimes it was there, and they just didn't want to try to force that ball in between a couple guys, because it's a lower percentage shot. But then the ball ended up coming to him a couple seconds later, kind of near the final third or kind of in between or whatever, and he got closed down immediately, and one quick touch bombed the ball out to ID and out on the wing. That was lasered, I don't know, just so you could tell, even though he hadn't been getting the touches and hadn't been getting played in as much, he wasn't losing focus. And when he actually did get it, he was just boom, and showed some. This is the kind of thing I've been talking with Eunice this season, right? Is the balls look different out of certain players' feet. You know what I mean? They just do. Yes. And actually, Bachmann has been one of those guys where sometimes he'll play one of those that actually, it stands out. It comes across on TV, I feel like.
There was a play in the first half where where the ball, one of the few times the ball came to him in the middle, closed down immediately, and he did like a back heel flick that kind of led a counterattack. All of a sudden, it's like, oh, there you go, okay, that works. But it's funny we talk about defenders here, and it's funny because I don't know how true this is. I think come from Build or whatever, but no, it's from Vaz. But they're looking for a cheaper version of Maurice Jens. Apparently, it's like okay, good luck with that. I thought Maurice Jens was pretty cheap as it was, but yeah, I don't know what we're gonna do with defenders. As the chat is saying, Cisse and Sanchez haven't come good. Vazinski, we don't see him anymore. It looks like maybe he gets on loan, maybe he gets sold in the winter. Who knows? So we got to figure something out defensively because it's not working out.